November edition of Chief Talk, and you see we're doing a little differently this time, and we're coming to you from City Cable 11. Shout out to our folks at City Cable 11 who I think are going to really enjoy filming this one today. A little different, Kevin. Yep. A little different. You can see in front of us. You know, it's been by the time this comes out, it's been almost exactly 2 years that I've been the police chief, and I know over that 2 years we've had a lot of talk about things going on, changes in the organization, stressful time, COVID, just a lot of staffing shortages, a lot of craziness, and we've done a lot of great things. But we thought we'd for this one we'd lighten it up a little bit, and I want to give a shout out to my oldest son Zach, my daughter-in-law Alex, and my granddaughter Addison. Addie, sorry, when she sees this, she'll be mad that I called her Addison, who called me and said, "Dad, I know what you need to do for the next Chief Talk. You need to do Hot Ones on camera as a Chief Talk to lighten things up a little bit." So shout out to Hot Ones. If you haven't seen Hot Ones at all on YouTube, I recommend it. And the goal for them is to do an interview, kind of more personal questions about the person being interviewed, me, while eating 10 more progressively hot sauces on hot wings. So yeah, also shout out to Harkins. They delivered a couple Harkins cups to us. Another shout out to Steve Perry, who put the hot wings on a Traeger last night and did them up. So yeah, Kevin loves this idea. I thought it was terrible, and I recognized I should not have mentioned it to him after my son called me, but I did, and I feel like I'm gonna regret it. So
I'm really looking forward to it.
It's like I feel like over 2 years, you know, we've made a lot of changes, right? Yep. And sometimes change comes with a little pain and suffering. So we're gonna have I think probably a little pain and suffering today.
Yes. All right. So the very first one is called the Classic Hot Sauce. It's a garlic Fresno edition by Heat on Ist. It says just the right spice. We'll put up the Scoville units. If you guys don't know what a Scoville unit is, it's a measure of the chili hot heatness in it. Yeah. For reference, I did look up our OC, and it's about 4 million.
First one.
The first one is 1,800 Scoville rating.
Okay, 1,800. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like a typical hot wing.
So when you were a little kid,
oh no, here we go.
What did people tell you that you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh my gosh, you clearly got this from my wife. And by the way,
of course,
I know that my wife participated in this in questions and talked to Kevin, and I did not, and I do not know any of the questions that are being asked on purpose, because I want it to be a surprise.
Or anything that's may come arise from it. So, much
to my parents' chagrin, and fortunately my dad passed away in 2020 because he'd be covering his eyes right now. Yeah, at the most opportune moments, when we were at a party and people would say, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" I said, "I wanted to be a political assassin."
What is a political
I don't know.
assassin?
You know, like a CIA, CIA operative.
Like a Jack Ryan.
Yeah, political assassin. Number two.
So this is Adobo Loco Island Wings hot sauce, and it's 5,500 Scoville units here. Okay. It's a modern Hawaiian inspired for the eater. So.
Okay.
You ever notice what side of your face you tend to bite to? Because I'm already getting a tingle on the same side every time the wing goes in. That's a good smell.
Yeah. You know, 5,000. It's definitely a little spicier, but not tremendously so from the one before, which I find interesting.
All right, so here's a question about high school. Do we know you grew up in Scottsdale?
North Phoenix, Scottsdale area, yeah.
Okay. So can you please tell us how you managed to graduate high school without kissing anyone? And the reason I ask, because we have this amazing photo where, can you please explain what's going on in your head in this?
Well, why would you say not kissing anybody? That was.
No, it's a joke. It's
there was a lot of kissing going on after that dance.
It's a lot funnier in my head when I wrote
that. That is, wow, that's a great picture.
How old are you there?
That's my then girlfriend, who's now my wife of 33 years. That is homecoming. I think it's homecoming. Valentine's Day. She's in the peanut gallery here. Valentine's Day, 1986. So February of 86, we were both 15, almost 16. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So Valentine's Day, 1986, 15.
So what movie did you bring to V's house the first time you went over there to meet her family?
It's terrible. It's terrible. The first time I went to her parents' house, it's probably 1985. I thought a great movie to bring to view with her, and my wife is the oldest of 6, with the only girl, 5 little brothers. I think at that time the youngest was probably 7, maybe 7. I thought it'd be a great idea to bring Scarface with Al Pacino. No, that's probably not a good idea to bring a Scarface-style movie to your...
And you're 15?
I was 15, age? Yeah. I thought the movie was so good.
So you brought a rated R movie, which you're not allowed to see.
It should have been rated X to the level of, or what would have then been NC-17 because of the level of violence.
Yes.
Not my best moment as 15-year-old Jeff here. Not a great moment.
How old were her brothers?
Thanks, Kevin. Like I said, the youngest was probably 7. And
you just watched it.
No, the little boys got up or were made to get up and leave.
Because they were traumatized.
Yeah, of course, for life. For life.
That's awesome. So that's a very good indication of your movie choices. But what's your favorite comedy movie that you like to see now of all time?
Comedy. You wanted to go from the hard part to the good.
So I had no idea that the answer was Scarface. So I thought we were going a little different direction with it.
I'm going to give you a different answer. I'm not going to go with it's movie-like. It's entertainment. And I will tell you that the best comedy I've ever watched was Sebastian Maniscalco's What's Wrong with People. He's a stand-up comedian. He's got a Netflix special, many Netflix specials now, but this was before he was popular. I have never laughed, in a movie, a comedy, whatever, never laughed so hard in my life as watching Sebastian Maniscalco. Talk about, he grew up in the same era that I did, in that 80s time frame, and it is...
That's what he talks about, that's his comedy.
Yeah, he takes everyday life
yeah.
and points things out, and it's so funny. It's incredibly funny. Sebastian Maniscalco.
This is Burns and McCoy Mezcaline.
Yeah, feeling it on my lips already. This is.
It's a walk-in. This jumps up to 16,600.
Okay.
So as you're eating this one, why don't you tell us about all the many jobs you've had in your life?
Huh. This one is good.
Mm-hmm. That's good flavor.
This one is really good. It's hot, but it's good. It's interesting, I'll tell you, that I've been married to the same woman for 33 years, and clearly, we met when we were 14 years old. I like finding something amazing like her and just staying the course. I was a paper boy. Come on, to my youngsters out there in the organization.
Oh,
I know
you've
seen or heard about what a paper boy was, but I was actually a paper boy when I was 12.
Ooh, that's a delay.
My brother and I had a paper route, North Phoenix, and then I did that from the 12 to the time I was 15, and then I got a job as a dishwasher at Shogun Restaurant at Tatum and Cactus.
It's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I worked in a Japanese restaurant from the time I was 15 until the time I was 20, 21, and then V and I got married when we were 19, and then moved up to Flagstaff, and I went to NAU, and then within 6 months after graduation, I was a Scottsdale police officer.
So
literally,
what drove you to Scottsdale?
Delivered papers, Shoga, a Japanese restaurant in many forms. I learned how to make sushi. I was a dishwasher. I was a line cook. I was a prep cook, then a line cook. Rolled sushi. Loved it. Learned a whole lot about life in a restaurant. Those of you who've worked in a restaurant, you know what I'm talking about. You learn a lot about life in a restaurant. And then I was literally off for 3 years. No job for 3 years. While I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say that. I had the most important job I've had in my life, which was my wife worked for NAU, for the Institute for Human Development, and I went to school and took care of our then growing family. We moved up there with our oldest, had our second while we were in Flagstaff. He was born at Flagstaff Medical Center. And then right when I graduated, she was pregnant with our third. In fact, my daughter was born driving track week in the academy.
So our very next one is Hot
Number 4.
Ones Los Calientes Verde Hot Sauce. And this jumps up to 36,000 on the Scoville unit. Oh, that smells really good.
It does.
I can actually smell it.
There's some cilantro.
Serrano and habanero chilies.
36,000. Oh, the last thing was why Scottsdale?
Yeah.
I only applied with 3 agencies. Scottsdale was my number 1 because I grew up in the area. Mesa was my number 2 because I had a desire to work for a good size agency. Scottsdale was a really good size agency. Mesa was bigger, a little bit bigger, but not too big. So they were my number 2, and my number 3 that I applied with was Phoenix, because at that time I thought that was, you know, if I couldn't get the first 2, then Phoenix was my best chance of getting a job. And brother, I'm here to tell you, remember what I told you? My wife was pregnant with our third, and I had just graduated college, and I needed a job.
Right. What role did Rough Slicker play during your college years? You got to explain what that is, because that sounds like a hero.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you got a little red. Is it from the wings, or is it the question?
So Ruff's Liquor was a, I don't know if it still is, but it was a liquor store. And those of you who went to NAU, especially in the 80s and throughout the 90s, Ruff's Liquor, not too far from campus, had a drive-through window liquor store, right? And they sold 2 primary items at Ruff's Liquor. Alcohol, obviously, and guns. No kidding. It was a liquor store gun shop.
That's awesome.
Like, hey, I'll come in. Yeah, I'll take that 12-pack of Old Milwaukee and that 12-gauge shotgun. The reason Ruff's Liquor was pivotal was because even from my teen years, most of you who know me, I'm a gun enthusiast, and I was all the way back then as well. And I had amassed a really nice little collection of hunting rifles and shotguns and pistols, and Ruff's Liquor was where I sold those guns in college to help put food on the table and to feed our kids. And so, yeah, Ruff's Liquor was good to me, and they always gave me a fair deal. And I went into college. We went into college with, I think, a fair number of firearms. And I'm pretty sure we came out with 1 hunting rifle. And we talk about that story, you know, pretty often. So, of course, my wife had to slip an emotional one in there for me, but it was good. Ruff's Liquor was good to me. Awesome. That sounds really weird. Ruff's Liquor was good to me. Yeah, alcohol and gun shop. So.
All right, let's grab our next one. This is I can't even read it. It's Sauce Leopard, the 7th Reaper. So we're jumping up to Red Chimichurri, which I just learned on some cooking show, and it's a Carolina Reaper hot sauce.
I'm retracting my shout out to Steve Perry for doing the wings, because look at this ridiculous thing, okay? Now I'm gonna have to take a huge bite of this. I think he did it on purpose. Like, let's make the wing as big as
Yeah.
Not even a wing. Anyway, but let's make it as big as possible so we can coat it. You can even see all the red pepper flakes on this.
So this one's 59,000. You went the correct way, right? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Yours is the one that's backwards.
Chief just doesn't know we put all his on mild, and he's just messing with it.
59,000 is pretty good. That's on my tongue.
I just got stuck in my teeth. Oh, yeah.
I'm terrified now, because 59,000 is pretty high. But this one has a good taste too.
So here's a fun question. What's the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you this year? Oh, that's so delayed.
I don't even know.
Well, I got one for you.
Oh no! Well,
I mean, it's kind of a rhetorical question, but So we've heard you like to eat things.
Oh no.
And
is it a picture?
It's a picture. And can you explain
That
what's
one's hot.
going through your mind during this photo?
What? Where the hell did you get that?
And why it seems like you're kind of intaking some food here. So we'll put that up. But yeah, explain that one there.
My kids would say, Dad, how many grapes can you fit in your mouth? And that started a, Dad, how many Dad, can you eat this entire cupcake in one bite? Mm-hmm. And so I just, even at my, on Monday, before we went trick-or-treating, it was my grandson is like, Papa, can you eat the whole cupcake in one bite? Because they just want to see that. So my kids, when they're like, Dad, green grapes, how many? It was 41. And like, sorry, but I was like, it's like big mouth, right? And so yeah, because then you're like, you're just spitting all these grapes out. But yeah, I think that one is, those are, if you see that picture, those are mini bunts, bigger than a cupcake, right? So it was my adult children, Dad, this is not a cupcake, this is a mini bunt. Do you think you could fit this whole thing in your mouth? I'm pretty sure I did.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Ooh, that one, the 59,000. Yes, definitely on my lips.
Mm-hmm.
Not pure horrible yet. Actually, that one was really pretty tasty, but yeah. Hot and saucy, collards and ghost. Hot and saucy, collards and ghost. I think we're starting.
So this one is 70,000.
Yeah, we're starting to get in trouble here. I'm starting to feel it. I think you might be sweating.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That is
Steve, thank you. This one is exactly a third of the size of the last one. Oh, that's a bit vinegary. I don't know about that one. That one,
I don't know what it tastes like.
I got a little afterburn, like.
So
That one's
So I didn't believe that you had worked in the fire service.
That one's a little much.
Because it's getting a lot hotter. I thought you were just making that up. You did volunteer because I haven't seen any
I thought you were just
photos.
making that up. Yeah,
Well, it makes for a great story. I went to go be a fireman in retirement, but what is the? Oh my God, it's really kind. It's super. These are all delayed.
Yeah, so this one's super delayed, and yeah, this one's.
So, what's your scariest fire moment that you?
Yeah. So, I got wildland fire certified. For those of you out there, that's getting your red card. It's a big deal. And then I went to chainsaw school, a 3-day chainsaw school to learn how to deal with and cut burning trees, or to clear out brush and trees in the way to deprive the fire of fuel. And so I was on the crew that I was on a Type 3 wildland fire engine. We went at the bushfire in Tonto Basin. Okay, that one's a little rough. Tonto Basin fire, and we got assigned to prevent the fire from crossing the highway because there was a lot of unburned fuel across the highway, and it was cooking pretty good. And so we got sent to an area where the fire was moving pretty fast, and it was prevent the fire from jumping the freeway because fire characteristics are amazing. And so our truck, we went down there, we got out, the fire was raging on one side of the highway, and so we started putting water on that side of the highway to prevent embers and stuff from going over the other side. Too late. It flashed over to the other side. Embers, with the wind, came over to the other side and started burning up all that fuel. They merged, no kidding. Josh Haynes would appreciate this one, wildland fire stuff. They merged, or Troy Lutrick, I know he probably doesn't watch, but they merged. The fire, I swear, came together over the highway.
Wow.
Couldn't breathe. As soon as you take in a breath with all of that burning fuel right there and how close the fire was, burned your throat. We were in a bad position, and I was looking at the captain ahead of me, and he still had water on his side, and I was putting water on the other side. I looked at him because my lungs were burning, snot, coming out your nose, eyes can't, because you're not wearing breathing apparatus. It's wildland, right? So not wearing breathing apparatus. And I looked and I thought, he must be Superman. Jarrett Jensen, his name, saw him last weekend, I thought he must be Superman. This doesn't appear to be bothering him, until he turned around and looked at me, and I saw snot pouring out of his face, and he said, "Let's get the F out of here." And we jumped in the truck and we moved to a better spot. We were in a bad spot. He knew it. He knew we got put into a bad spot, and great leadership decision. He moved us out of there real quick. But that was absolutely terrifying to see that wall of flame kind of on both sides of the road. Pretty crazy. You don't have a picture of it, do you?
I do. So,
my wife gave you everything, I tell you.
So this is from that.
Yeah, that's from
road?
that fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's from that fire.
Yeah. So we'll show that.
That is, yeah, that is. It's funny. I showed that to somebody, and it was my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, and she's like, "Oh no, it was that? I can't remember. It was either my youngest granddaughter or one of my grandsons who were like, 'That's not you.' I'm like, no, that's me."
And that's what it jumped just from there. It just popped there.
We work with amazing people at Scottsdale Fire, absolutely amazing, put their lives on the line every day. But I think some unsung heroes, especially in rural areas, are wildland fire crews. And we have a wildland fire crew here in Scottsdale, but wildland fire crews and your very small rural fire districts like Alpine Fire District, where you do everything you can with a whole lot less. And you become very reliant on volunteer firefighters. So shout out to them too. They around the country, around the state of Arizona, rural fire districts do amazing things with less. I'm getting scared because
Yep.
I didn't want to go to the milk yet, but I'm getting a little scared because.
All right. So this is number 7.
How bad is it?
It's the 4th. It's
okay.
99,000.
4th is 6th. Sorry, is
Halogi?
no,
Yeah.
Hyogi.
Yeah.
What's Tierfing's curse? Great. What this means to me, this curse, is that this is going to be a curse tomorrow morning.
So 99,000.
You know what I mean? It's going to be a curse. This is going to. I'm worried about this one. I don't want this kind of curse.
I got a dangler.
It's 99,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Do you see it glistening? Just so you know, this is glistening, which means Sergeant Quon put entirely too much on this thing. He coated these very liberally.
These are all delayed for me. It's crazy.
I don't know about this one.
I think it's like a slow.
Very
I think it's just
vinegary.
gonna burn me for no reason
Very
whatsoever
vinegary.
afterwards.
My son's gonna be like, "Dad, make sure you eat all that."
So I remember I asked you about what's your most embarrassing moment. So I'd like you to explain me
Oh, good heavens!
this photo because it's pretty awesome. Can you tell me the outfit and what's going on here in the backyard? It's a good look.
I have no comment. I was fighting with my granddaughter, my 2.5-year-old granddaughter. My grandkids love to see, like, as soon as I show up, it's like, "Are you getting this yet? You didn't eat the glistening one." My face is on fire, I'm pretty sure. Well, my grandkids see me, either my 3 grandsons who are 6, 4, and year and a half. It's Tate, Bentley, and Madden. And my 2.5-year-old granddaughter, Atlas. When I show up at their house or wherever, it's, I think they believe that it's fight time. That's my fault. I get it. And so that is my granddaughter, Atlas, at their house.
So that's your war armor.
Yeah, I was
suit.
ready to fight. That was my. Do you see that? That was my serious look. I look at it as my job is to fight with them, entertain, throw them around, with really like one primary goal, and that is to make them laugh. You know, I didn't. Both of my grandfathers died pretty young. Thankfully, my dad died much older, but they died pretty young, and so I didn't have that connection, you know, with my grandfathers, and so I have such a strong connection to my children that I wanted to make sure that I had a really strong connection with my grandkids, and you know, believe it or not, I know I make a lot of decisions in the organization where people don't know that I'm really super fun-loving and sophomoric. I think people would call that immature, and I embrace that. And so my goal is to get them laughing. And if I got to don a stupid metal hat and
is that like the personal pizza hat that
yeah.
you fold and put on your head? I'm good.
Except the back of my sinus cavity
We got new words.
is warming up really well.
As we eat the next one, explain what the biggest misconception that people have about you. So keep that in your mind.
That's super interesting because those people who grew up with me in the organization know that I'm super fun-loving, very immature, love to have a good time, make fun of myself, self-deprecating. And I think that the biggest misconception about me is that I'm a hard ass sometimes. You know, that especially if you didn't grow up with me in the organization, I'm very exacting in the standards that I hold us to. I don't, we talk in leadership roles in the organization, right, at all levels. We talk about having the hard conversations, and I know that can be difficult sometimes, and I don't shy away from hard conversations. I have learned to embrace the leadership conflict, the resolution. I think it's important. I think you should expect from me to be exacting my standards, to have hard conversations, to call you out if I think we're heading in the wrong direction. And sometimes that can come off as, you know, my way or the highway, and that's really not how I feel. Yes, it is. But that's sometimes I think that's what some people think of me is like, man, it's always got to be his way, which is not true. But I have very strong ideas. I'm very decisive in that, and I will tell you that in oral board questions you hear all the time, the question you get all the time is, you know, what are your strengths and your weakness, right? And I think I sit on a lot of oral boards, and I think it's an oft misanswered question because people are very good about their strengths, right? Here are my strengths. And then when you ask what their weaknesses are, their shortcomings, or things that they want to get better in, they will take something that, here's how I used to be, and I've made that a strength. No, I want to know really what's something that you struggle with. I'm going to tell you right here, and all of you right now, I want a thing that I struggle with. And I know Chief Gandara, who's been a great mentor of mine and known me a very long time in an executive role, knows this about me, and that is I can be an impetuous decision maker. Meaning I can take what might be 50% of the information, boom, I'm going to make a decision on it right now. And on occasion, that's not the right thing to do. And so those are things I'm continuously working on. But misperception about me, I think sometimes is from people who don't know me well in an organization of 700 people, especially our newer folks aren't going to know me really well. Hopefully this is a nice opportunity for that, is that I'm as fun-loving as I love to have a good time. I love people. I love the art of conversation. I'm really easy to get along with. I want to make people laugh, not just my grandkids. But I often separate my personal feelings about things from my professional feelings, and I make decisions. And sometimes people take that as, he's kind of being a hard ass. And I'm really not. I just have a very defined view of the direction I want to take this organization.
So, like we talked about, it's coming up on 2 years that you've been back. So what have you seen just intrinsically is what has been the the biggest change that you kind of like worked with the team to implement through?
Oh my gosh, Kevin, we have so many changes that we've made organizationally. I will tell you that now 2 years into it, we've made a lot of great change. We made a lot of progress. We've done a lot of amazing things, created new units, created a different direction, created new divisions. And one of the things I'm happiest about right now is what I really looked at was a big win for the organization, and I think will set up other big wins for us. And that is the Pay and Steps program. For sworn. You know, I started here in 1994, 28 years ago, and in that entire time, we've never had a defined step system. You know, it has defined pay, here's the range of pay, but in the entire time that I've been here through incredibly great financial times, the Great Recession, all of these, and now we're seeing inflation, significant inflation again. We've never had a defined, like, okay, officers are sworn will go through these steps in this way. Huge for us, huge. And I think we'll set up a review and some changes of steps, not just in the rest of the department with our professional staff, but I think in the rest of the city. And so I'm very proud of that and the great collaboration that we had in that. There's other things that I think have changed the way we do things and how we're perceived in the community, and that is your section and the creation of the community engagement section. Don't get me wrong, and the creation of the human exploitation and trafficking and unit and the crisis response team and RTCC, which is just really getting into its own and doing amazing things, all amazing things internal to the organization to help us fight crime and deal with our public. But we must in this country really participate and change the narrative about law enforcement, and we're so good at what we do here that the community engagement section, things like this, our reach and our connectivity to the community, super proud of. What is this one? This one is...
There you go. Yeah, just read it.
I watched Halle Berry. I think Halle Berry did this one, and this one, it's called Da Bomb Evolution Hot Sauce. And I'm afraid of this one. This didn't get so many good reviews.
This is 135,600.
Mama.
So that's 40,000. Did I do math? No. Almost,
yeah, because
almost 40,000 increase.
Again, Steve with the big wing.
This is pretty red.
Good.
Wow, that's got a great odor.
Oh, that's... No. No. Oh my gosh. I'm with you, Hallie. This one is oh god. Burning the inside of my mouth. On my cheek.
That's fast.
Holy crap. You know,
I never thought I'd have a sensation. Wow. Never thought I'd have a sensation like in the inner linings of your cheek.
Well, I said that I was one of the things I was most happy with. Oh, I gotta swallow this fast because
that's awesome.
It was the creation of the community engagement section. I'm not happy with you at the moment, so oh god. Those of you who want to go to the community engagement section, there might be an opening. Oh,
like makes you want to just start drooling.
Oh.
I can't even ask a question. It's so dang hot.
Oh God, that's miserable.
All right, can you give us some?
No. Milk.
Oh, I'm starting to cry.
It's got real ugly real fast.
I don't want to go up.
Huh?
I don't want to go up.
I'm gonna be belching that one from the grave.
It's like your tongue's on fire, but you can't.
The whole mouth. Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay. When he did it, you know, the ice helps a little bit. Gordon Ramsay, he said, oh, come on. He said the sweets help.
Okay.
How about a donut in uniform? Hold on. I'm just gonna bite the frosting.
You want to try the?
Oh my God.
You gotta try this other one. We'll cut this one so you can try it. Oh my gosh. This is a
that one has
a maple
bacon
bar that Steve picked up from the local donut down there on Hayden and Osborne. Yeah. Is it helping? Oh man. Let's get a. I don't want to touch it with my chili hand. That would be terrible.
Does it look like flames are coming out of my face? Holy.
Ah, it's dissipating. No, it's not dissipating.
Yeah, but because I feel taste buds falling off my tongue. Oh my. Is there like a pause for a commercial break?
I will not be defeated.
After you eat this, actually, let's do.
Let's do the
right.
question so I can think through it, because I'm starting to get super foggy right now.
Explain what Bo-Foss-Tandau is. All right. So as you think about that, let's move to the next one. This is Dingo Sauce Company Psycho Hot Sauce. That may or may not have a Scoville unit of 666.
Oh my God! I hope my kid.
1,000.
I hope my kids. My kids grew up in the era of the iPod and MP3 players, right? I love making up band names, just fake band names, fake things, and trying to get my kids or my wife in particular to believe it. I'm having a hard time thinking of actually who I am right now. So my kids were talking about needing, like new MP3 player, and I said, you need to. I heard there's a new one. You need to go check it out. It's called a Bo-Foss-Tandau. And they're like, really? Really? Yeah, I said, yeah, Bo-Foss-Tandau. They actually went to the store. Right? Was it Radio Shack? It was a Radio Shack. They went to and they're like, hey, we're interested in a new MP3 player. Can we look at the Bo-Foss-Tandau?
Yes, associate that.
They were like, he was like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's so big.
So yeah, in fact, it wasn't too long ago, several years ago, I got a gift from my kids, I think for Father's Day. Small book that was empty. It was just lined paper, right? But on the cover, it said band names. And so, because I would come up with, I don't know, just stupid band names. And
So
anyway,
tell us about some of the
it,
names.
Powering through.
Oh, he's going.
This is awful.
Oh, that smells so strong.
Oh gosh. This came. Oh, who thinks of this stuff? Oh. It's called Dingo Sauce. Psycho. Oh my gosh. Psycho Hot Sauce. Warning, extreme heat, 15 out of 10. This says 15 out of 10. Oh my good heavens.
I don't think I got any.
Oh. Oh, it's gonna hit you in a second.
The last one was hotter for me.
No, this one, oh my gosh, it just hit my throat.
I'm sweating. I can feel it in the back of my head. Okay, so we did talk about embarrassing photos again.
Oh no.
But I need you to explain me this one. Because
I'm afraid.
I need to know what's going on here. I don't know.
So, if you haven't figured out, I have a goal to be super goofy with my kids, my grandkids. Their whole lives. And so, I got a super runny nose. So one of the things I like to do when my kids were little, they always want to hold hands, right? And my daughter in particular would want to hold hands and skip. So as they got older, into their teen years, hey, what do you know? Nobody wants to skip with me anymore. So we'd be at places where there are a lot of people. Disneyland, that was Yellowstone, or Yellowstone. And if you don't want to hold my hand and you don't want, then I'm just gonna skip in front of you. But I just don't skip. I do big, ridiculous skips until they all have their eyes covered and they're embarrassed to even be seen with me. So, I'm not gonna lie to you right there. I got a tad dizzy. This is not good. Ooh.
With this is the last dab. Go ahead and explain the sauce, and then we will actually put a dab of the sauce on it.
Oh, come on! It's already basted in it.
Yeah.
This one is called Fire in a Bottle. No, it's this one is called Apollo, the Last Dab. Hot sauce, made with the Apollo pepper.
So this one is approximately 2.5 million. Which is only 1.5 million less than our OC the last time I looked it up.
How big of a dab I got to put on this?
Well, a dab.
Oh!
That's a dabble.
It's a dab.
Oh, I'm sweating behind the ear. Oh, that's a lot. Crap.
This is unpleasant.
So while we're about to eat this one, it's kind of a serious one, the end. How's being a father or husband helped you to be a better leader? And second part of it, who are the leaders that you look up to, which can be fictional, real life?
Those of you who just came to see me about being interested in being a new sergeant or supervisor, and I've talked about this for a lot of years. When I became a sergeant in 2001 and took my first squad, I went home after probably the first week or two, and I told my wife, I said, honey, I had no idea what being a sergeant was really like. Today we know because we do SIT, right? So you get a flavor of that in the training. But I joked around with her. I said, I'm so glad I'm a parent, because all I really am at work is the head babysitter now for my squad, and some wonderfully amazing people still here in the organization that were on that first squad. Chance Lovell and Brent Valey and Brooke Scritchfield and Derek Litchfield and Brady Bailey, Phyllis Zobel, who was Phyllis Searles back then, Tim Wazlowski, just Jeff Stewart, who just left, Bonnie Cross was my PA. What a great squad. Amazing squad. And I learned so much about leadership from them. But how that's connected to parenting was astonishing to me, because when as a parent you have kids, and you have these I call them square blocks of clay, and it's your job to mold and shape that square block of clay to make them loving to each other and you as parents, and great members of society, and service oriented and wanting to take care of and help people. And so that's the same in this job. And I thought, wow, I just apply some of those same principles about parenting to really focusing on my people. And I love that when you get promoted, and I've talked about this, you lose your name. And you know this, right? People call you Sarge. And so still the burn is still real here. But there's just so much about that is about parenting and making the focal point when they call you Sarge, and you're no longer, the focal point is no longer you. The focal point, and I talk about this a lot, the focal point is no longer me. The focal point is we, right? And so I'm like, okay, it's my responsibility to mold and shape these young officers and PAs and do great things and take care of people and make it better. And then when you become a lieutenant or a manager, for me, I just was like, okay, now it's expanded out. And I hope you see today I still carry that with me. You're my focal point. My focal point is the we. It's the moving the organization, and it's one commodity, the people. It's moving that forward. It's doing great things. It's taking care of one another. It's just doing amazing things. And so that's all about parenting to me. And I see organizationally, I see this as my children and my grandchildren. I see that this is my charge. This is my sacred duty to lead an organization, to do great things, to be better. Our tagline, to be more every day in the service of others. I learned all that from being a dad. The other part of that question is about my wife and my relationship, and you know, she's watching me. You and I both suffer today, and help you come up with all those great pictures. But I've learned more about leadership from her than any other leader or mentor. But I am the leader I am today. I am the father that I am today. I'm the husband that I am today. I'm the grandfather that I am today. I'm the human being that I am today because of her, because of that strength. I often tell the story about I was on the SWAT team, but I was in the street crimes unit. Back then, the very first street crimes unit that Scottsdale PD had. And I remember getting an argument with her, said some things because I thought I was cool that I should never have said. A lot of you have heard this story. And she said, "The kids and I don't want you here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Yeah, the kids and I don't want you here. The kids and I, we're not suspects." So my street crimes unit undercover car sat out in front of my parents' house in the driveway with my SWAT gear inside. And I slept in the twin bed that I grew up in for 2 weeks. And my wife was an employee here, and she knew all the lingo. She said, I called her and I said, "When can I come home?" And she said, "I don't know. Maybe never. Why don't you go use some of those 12 free sessions that the city gives you and figure out why you're behaving the way you're behaving?" And so I used 4 or 5 of those 12 free sessions, and then we used 2 together. And at the end of that next session, she said, "Okay, I think you're ready to come home now, but you're going to take me out on a date first." The reason I bring up that story, and I tell that to a lot of young officers, because we tend to start to get full of ourselves. And it took a strong partner, an incredibly strong partner, to say, before it was too late, to say, you need to check yourself, and you need to go talk to somebody, and you need to figure out why you're being the way you are. And so that, I get very emotional when I talk about it, because that pivotal moment for me, that I'll tell you is in the top 5 most pivotal moments of my entire life. Because that made me a better husband, it made me a better father, it made me a significantly better leader, and it made me a better human being. And it is one of the driving forces for me to be more. It's to be better, to make my wife, my family proud of me. I want the organization to be proud of itself, of the work that we do. I want the organization to be proud that I lead them, and I lead them in the spirit of we. And that's important. So in terms of, now I'm going to eat this, and we're going to continue to talk until I pass out. Oh, good God. Leaders, leaders that inspire me. Oh, good heavens.
Oh my God.
Holy crap. How do you put the surface of the sun in liquid form? Oh, I feel like my insides are on fire right now. maybe I put too much. The dab might have been, while it looked small, it was maybe it was entirely too big. I'm gonna talk. So all of us have leaders that I think, you know, we learn from, because you can't help it in a police organization. Like, the faster I talk, the more a cool air I'm hoping to get. In a police organization, all of us have leaders, good and bad. And I think sometimes we can miss the opportunity when we work for a poor leader. I will tell you that you learn more things from a poor leader. I think the back of my tongue is on fire. That you can learn more from what you believe. That's important. What you believe is a poor leader. You can learn more from them oftentimes than you can a great leader. Because you say to yourself, okay, I see that they're doing X, Y, and Z. And when I'm a leader, or in my own family, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to do A, B, and C. And I learned that early on in the organization. Because I had people that I worked for that were tremendous, that were really good to me, that were good for the organization, that I learned a lot from. Chief Rodbell, Chief Gondar, I learned when I became a commander, I learned more from her on the professional staff side than I ever knew before. I learn a lot every day from people that I work with, in Assistant Chief Slavin and Chief LeDuc, and the commanders and the directors, and how to do great things. That I mentioned, Chief Rodbell was helped me with, you know, kind of mold and shape my career. And so there's real leaders moving forward, you know, in the city too. I mean, I've learned a lot from from my boss, Jim Thompson, and just amazing leaders that I have gleaned and taken from and borrowed and applied to my own leadership style. And that leadership style is all about people and recognizing that the strength of any organization is our people. And I'm committed to our people, and that commitment, I hope, has resonated organizationally over the last 2 years that we've been together. You're not always going to agree. You don't always have to agree with a sound leader, but you're squarely in my focus and making the organization better, each individual at a time. The last thing I'll leave with that is, I think it's, and I've talked about it before, is I think an essential component of you talk about leadership, and we talked about parenting and how that applies. Things that are really important is, I think great leaders must possess humility. Look around you, and if you look at somebody you believe is a great leader, I promise you they will possess some modicum of humility. And usually it's a significant amount of humility to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I have confidence in my ability to do what I do, but every day offers me an opportunity to be better, to do more in your stead, to lead better, or to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I made an impetuous decision. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to keep moving forward. It's not going to be forever, but I love it today.
So we appreciate taking your time out of your schedule just to kind of lighten up a little bit.
Thanks everybody for watching this one. I appreciate you giving us the latitude to be a little bit funny with this one, and thanks to my wife for sending some embarrassing questions and pictures to you. And again, those are all unscripted for me, and I enjoyed that very much. It's a nice trip down memory lane, and hopefully that gives you some good insight on me. And the next time you're like, oh, what's the chief doing? Remember, I just asked that you assume positive intent, because I promise you, I have positive intent. You might not like the decision, but at least know that I have your best interest at heart and best interest of the organization. So thanks for being with us today. Thanks, everybody.